really well here. So we're in the first game, and we are on King Sejong Station. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, it is Rocket's Hyun.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player, Gigantus herO.
It also got rid of my top bars. I'm a little sad right now.
Aww,
No.
I'm so sorry.
I can't remember. How do I exit the game? F10, F9?
Back?
No, I'm just kidding. I recognize the
Oh my
important
God.
hotkeys at least.
That first game that I casted with you today,
Yeah?
I definitely like hovered over, like I hit F10 to go to options and switch the observer interface for the next game, and I definitely like clicked on the score screen button, but I like held it down. I'm like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
don't leave the game. Go to options.
I'm so terrified to do that. F10S. Oh, I was casting that game. Yeah,
It's just like, I think this game is over. F10 and oh wait, I'm casting, not playing it. Shoot.
So, guys, I'm not Rifkin, but I am Zombie Grub, and with me is Fear Dragon. So, if you don't recognize him, he's actually cast a little bit before. We did the Illuma League, like, months ago at this point.
Oh my God, yeah, such a long time ago. Before it was put on a day that I am unable to watch it. Oh my God, Zombie Grub. Hold that thought. Forge first coming out of herO, and we got a proxy hatch from Hyun. Of course, Hyun, proxy hatch.
I was like, what are you freaking out about? It's just a Forge first. Jesus, calm down.
It's a Forge first, Zombie Grub. Freak out with me on but yeah, that's... What do you think about this? Because I've never been a fan of proxy hatch versus a Forge first.
Yeah, I don't really like it. You know, he put it up here, I think, because he really wanted it to be hidden, but that probe just like was like, excuse you. What are you doing
Yeah.
here? Well, 2 cannons actually out DPSs, I think. 1 cannon will, of course, eventually kill it, and I don't think a queen can get out of that amount of time. Could be wrong about that.
Yeah. The awkward thing for herO is that you don't want to overcommit to cannoning over there, because you can see he hasn't put down full expansion yet. He hasn't even put a cannon in his front, so if he doesn't do that and Zerglings just come in from the main base or something, you could still be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, if worse comes to worse, if like this does not die fast enough and he thinks a queen is about to pop out, he could pull drone like probes. But yeah, that's what I thought. Dealing way too much damage, but he's just
Oh my God.
no, Hyun, what are you doing, buddy?
It was one space too close. I think he was hoping that that would be out of range of the cannon, but oh, the drone getting so low on health. He's gonna go for it again.
Oh, come on. What is he? Okay, at this point, what are you really expecting to do? I mean, if it's hidden long enough, you can actually like do a lot of creep spread. Even like if it is hidden long enough and defended long enough, get up to roaches, and that's absolutely terrible. But at this point, he's actually wasted a lot of minerals just canceling. First of all, it's a big chunk, and he didn't get the what you were talking about, where herO under defends the front and suddenly like 12 lings pop in there. It's actually perfectly fine, and he just doesn't have any bases of his own back at home. Well, now he does.
Yeah, I mean, herO was able to thwart that initial hatchery with just a single cannon. He's building a second cannon now to deal with this next hatchery, so that's going to be kind of nice. I mean, it's sort of ish working out for Hyun, but I mean, as you were saying, probably not to the degree that he really wants, because his hatchery, his natural expansion hatchery, is barely like under 50% completed. And it's almost 5.5, 6 minutes into the game. Sure, herO's been delayed a little bit. He's invested into cannons. His cybernetics score is going to be a bit delayed, but I feel like Hyun is a little bit more delayed.
Yeah, I have that feeling too, but I think the biggest thing about doing anything like this, like a proxy hatch or an early pool, is usually that the tech is delayed. And I'm not talking +2, I'm talking warp gate, like the basic tech that you need.
Yeah.
You know, the cybernetics score was delayed because he was putting 300 minerals into cannons that were up here, which now look really awkward. So that's, that's not only warp gate, but that's maybe like that faster Stargate, like the one that we see here, just a little bit later. So it's probably going to be an Oracle, and by that time Hyun's bases will all have creep. It might actually be kind of close in the third. No, I know, it's fine. But you should have spore crawlers. I don't think he saw that. You know what? What's funny is that he put it in between the cannons, so instead of having to like bring back a stalker or warp in a stalker, the Overlord's just gonna die anyways.
That's so perfect. Oh my God, that's actually really, really smart. It's all working according to herO's plan. He's done this a million times, ladies and gentlemen. But here's actually a really cool thing that I like from herO. He's sending out that initial zealot for harassment. This is obviously nice for a lot of reasons, but one of the big problems you face as a Protoss player is, in these kind of situations where you've committed to a lot of defense, is you don't have a very, very solid idea of what your opponent's up to. Because you kind of have that feeling like, are they just going to follow this up with another all-in? Or are they just going to play unbelievably greedy? By sending out that zealot, he gets a scout off and sees, okay, you have 3 hatcheries. And he just retreats out with a zealot.
Yeah. I actually checked, and he did not know that the natural had been taken, because it was the 3rd at this point. But, you know, it could have been a 2-base all-in, not so common anymore against Protoss at all, but there's always that chance, you know? And he actually throws down 3 more gateways, bring up to a total of 4. I think whenever he opens target, he actually opened up with 3 most of the games. We'll see if he actually does commit to basically a 4-gate, which is an Oracle helping out a little bit. The Oracle was a complete surprise to Hyun, by the way, so a couple of drones went down, not necessarily for free. A lot of damage has been taken on that Oracle. It might die. Oh, if there was a Queen down here, it would have. It just gets free kills.
Every
Dang.
single game, I see the Oracle, it gets, you know, warded off by a couple of those queens, and then somehow herO manages to find this one emptied mineral line, and manages to get at least 8 kills, consistently in all these PVZs that I've seen. You know, the massive number of PVZs that I've seen today from herO, which I think is like 2 or 3 now.
That Overlord went around the base. Like, there's cannons on both sides. I don't understand what the point of that was, but that's okay.
Gotta scout what you can.
I guess he scouted the back, and that is sometimes place, you know, the most important tech. But at this point, I think he saw that the 3rd was taken. Yep, he did. There you go. And it's not a hard guess to be like, well, I wonder if he's getting blank stalkers behind that. Puh.
Yeah. Well, oh god, I love herO's Oracle control. Up to 11 kills now on that Oracle, and still managing to keep it alive. Still getting vision on, okay, you know, this game is kind of opened up a little bit weird, so I got a good feel for where your lair tech is and where your timing is on that, how much gas that you've actually been mining. I feel like herO's just in a really, really nice position information-wise right now.
Well, it's really calmed down ever since those openers, and you know, it's been like 6 minutes. I'd say the openers don't even matter anymore. I mean, when I checked the units lost, and in fact, it's still very low in minerals. I guess a couple of lings. Well, actually, it was all those drones that went down that bumped that up, but very like doesn't even matter anymore. It's kind of it's pretty much a normal game, and it is going to be Ling Hydra. Yeah.
Alrighty. Oracle going to come back in over here. It may actually. Okay, never mind. herO has a much better idea of what the Oracle is capable of on low health than I do.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, is he gonna lose that? No, actually, totally fine. But Hyun gonna be going for that 4th expansion. And this is Kingslong Sedong Station, and we've seen swarm hosts come out quite a bit. So I feel like we have to address the swarm hosts on this map. Like, we have to at least talk about them.
Go ahead, man.
Alright, infestation pits. Swarm hosts are really good. This is like the map that if I imagine a swarm host, I actually just imagine it in the center of King Sejong Station. It's just where I see it, but ooh, Oracle getting taken out. Did the Oracle actually see the infestation pit?
Barely. It also saw the Hydras. Is there a robo? There is a robo, but no observer coverage. He's playing a little bit blind here, and the same thing says go out, but I mean, it's gonna tell him, hey Hydras, and then it dies. So this is awfully scary. Oh, it looks like he's again expecting a Spire. I talked about it like last time we saw Ling Hydra, where Ling Hydra and Aspire is a very common like tech swap, but so is Ling Hydra actually in a Swarm Host as well, but it's actually a hive without roaches.
Oh my god. I know those force fields, Zombie Grub. I've done those force fields a million times. That's I'm gonna snipe the 3rd and get the hell out of there force field set, and we'll see if he can actually make it. There's this one hole that so many Zergans are getting through. He's actually buying a lot of time. Hatchery not quite going down. Recall! Oh, Mothership Core! Oh, that got really low.
Dang, yo, that was more force fields than I think he really expected to, or wanted to use. And it's actually not an expectation of mutas. He goes, or maybe he scouted something and told him it wasn't. But anyways, he gets Void Rays again. He got an Overgrowth. He's getting it here. Now this might be very effective against Swarm. Well, no, the Hydras will take care of it. I was gonna say because he doesn't have Corruptors, but the Hydras will be the anti-air that'll take care of the Void Rays well enough for now. Unfortunately, that Warp Prism did die with all of its units inside.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. I'm almost kind of wondering if, the Voiders are just an anticipation of, like, look, Hydra Ling, it's not a super late game composition, especially when you have no upgrades on the Zergling. They're not going to actually tank for very long, and you only have +1 weapons on your Hydra list, right? So maybe the Voiders are saying, well, you're either probably going to add in Roaches, or you're going to be going for, Ultralist follow, or, just some kind of other follow-up.
Yeah.
He's kind of anticipating that? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. He did stop, so I I honestly don't know. But
Yeah.
he's pushing in here. Now the Ling Hydra is also used to protect the Swarm Host, and if the Swarm Host are in a very comfy position, as if they're defended, the army's not anywhere near them, he could also use them to attack, break the rocks over here, attack the fourth over there. In this case, he just loses a fourth and is trying to counterattack himself, but it's not working out. The Void Rays are started up again, so he is going into a Colossus Void Ray composition, and this can be very tricky to deal with, simply because going into Corruptors, we all know Corruptors aren't that great, and a lot of times when we start to add in Archons, the Corruptors just ball up and the Archons absolutely destroy them, so Void Rays can be a very powerful addition to any Protoss army.
Yeah, and we end up seeing herO pushing in over here. Has to be careful, though, about those Vipers. Does not want to be losing in this Colossus, but I kind of like how he's been playing it. Yeah. I don't know if he accidentally or intentionally left one Zealot out of that recall, but that's actually really, really nice. That could actually come back in and at least get a little bit of vision in scouting that potential expansion being taken, but Zergling run by at the fourth expansion of herO. Not going to do too much.
Yeah. I wondered if herO had seen that Hive timing, and he did. So I was a little surprised to see him throw down Templar Archives only after seeing the Vipers in that last attack, but it'll be in time. There is no immediate counterattack from Hyun. It is pretty hard to do so with Swarm Hosts. Even though it is a low number of Swarm Hosts, 12 right now, low, quote-unquote, he's getting 8 more, which will be a very buff Swarm Host count. Like, that can be kind of a set him and forget him, maybe a couple more. And he's trying to get that massive static defense.
Ooh. hero's already here, though. The Hydras are going to obviously ward off these Zealots, but I just want to note, I really like how hero's been handling this with just kind of the multi-pronged aggression. Hit from the right, hit from the left, and you know what? He's almost guaranteed to get one base, right?
Yeah. Classic maneuver, and unfortunately, it's not about falling to it because you don't know the game. Like, guaranteed, Hyun has to deal with this every single time he goes Swarm Host. It's just about being able to split up an army that is not mobile, like most of the army is not, and only sending Hydras to a Colossus army, like, no. You have to wait for the Swarm Host, so... Luckily, he didn't get the fourth. You know, there's like, just barely enough there to buy that time, and he recalled out. But behind this, he has a fourth base. He has not had any pressure whatsoever from the Swarm Host. I don't think they've touched a building. And he's getting all of his own upgrades. Plus, he went up to 3 Stargates, so he's preparing to go for a very mass air army. Yeah,
we'll see if it ends up working out. War Prism's coming on along the bottom left-hand side and the top right-hand side, but it looks like Hydral's already found one of the War Prisms in the bottom left. The other War Prism does get spotted by the Overlord, but Zealot harassment as well. herO just mixes in one Stalker. Just one Stalker in the mix.
That's been there forever. Like, I'm chilling. Like
he's done more than one Zealot run by to that location, and they've always had like one Stalker with them.
I swear it's the same Stalker, but yeah. This time, this might be... You can save the Blink Stalkers if he doesn't. I'm just going to go ahead and be like, he wants the room. He's almost maxed out, and he's transferring over into Tempests. So, I mean, if he gets Vipers off of this, that's fantastic. Overseers are okay, too. Does choose to save them. Yeah. The Warp Prism that went to the main was sniped off by a couple of Hydras, it looks like, and we have ourselves an old-fashioned, very, very long Swarm Host game.
Yeah,
perfect.
I feel like the big difference between this Swarm Host game and the other ones is that Hyun has actually been able to get up a decent amount of static defense while also keeping his army up, right?
It's true.
Whereas in a lot of the other games, we saw the Zerg player try and get up a static defense, and right around that time would come the big Protoss attack, and that was around the time that they would lose their army, and they couldn't afford to build static defense. They were too busy rebuilding their army, and oh my god, herO sacrificing sentries. This is like one of those painful things that Protoss players do
Oh
because
yeah.
sentries are useless at this point. But it still pains me. I'm just like, that's 500 gas. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 19 more drones for Hyun. Wow, gonna bring up to 90. But it's all for stack defense. Now,
Yeah.
his bank is very low. And that's not because he was playing a style that depended a lot on, you know, hydras or roaches. He certainly had some, of course. We saw that whole transition phase. But it's actually because he just threw down all of the stack defense. So, while the bank is really low right now, he is in a super defended position. He's okay against most Warp Prism harass, too. That we will see that bank suddenly skyrocket. I mean, he was down in 100, suddenly he's back up to 1,000. It's just a stack defense. Problem is, you know, some might say the Swarm host, the Zerg player is indestructible in the late game. Some might say the Protoss. I guess it's kind of up to you right now. But that army
Zergs
from
will say the
Hyun,
Protoss are. Protoss
right?
will say the
Exactly.
Zerg are.
And Terran's like, I don't care. But that army from herO is just getting very, very scary, and he's getting on all those bases too. So it's not like, you know, he's not getting his own bank.
Yeah,
Whoa.
this becomes like a really weird and awkward situation. I feel like I want to come back to the map, though. King Sejong Station. Maybe this is just personal experience. Maybe it's because, as we just said, Protoss feel like it's the Zerg players that have the better army, and I'm a Protoss player. But I always feel like on King Sejong Station, the Swarmos definitely have a really, really nice position up on that high ground, where all the static defense can go, and it's just so easy for them to sit up there very, very safely with the Swarmos. But I think on a lot of other maps, or at least some other maps, there's a couple more different attack paths that the Protoss player can come from. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, though.
I feel like, you know, in a matchup that I'm just definitely not biased towards, right? It's whoever I watched last, you know? Like, if I watched a Protoss player absolutely destroy someone on Overgrowth, I'm like, well, Protoss's army, I don't know how you beat it. But the same is said being the opposite, right? So I guess that's why I'm kind of feeling in favor of herO right now.
Well, one thing I will say about herO is that for a game that's going to the super duper late game, I think he's actually been relatively cost effective in the earlier stages of the game, and you can see he's like now taking this base on the left hand side of the map. Am I actually completely talking out of my butt right now? No, they have almost dead even resources left.
Yeah.
I'm talking out of my butt right now. Wow, that's actually surprisingly even.
Yeah, I was looking. It's also surprisingly low, guys. It's like a 25-minute game, and they haven't breached five figures. That's pretty impressive. I want to like this left side of the base. Like, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like most long, drawn-out games, however you play it. You know, the old saying is like take every base that you can, right? Get comfortable in that macro game. That's where it's going. But on King Sejong, this base, you see, Hyun hasn't taken his. It just never gets taken, and sometimes that's good because that's the base that you end up protecting in a base trade, which is awesome. But sometimes it's really bad in that, like, if you had that, you would have had so much economy, like, evenly spread out. These Void Rays found themselves very useful, killing all the stack defense in the hatchery. Jeez, that went down fast.
Oh my god, that is beautiful. But these Hydralisks, actually flanked by the actual entire army of the Protoss player. Mothership also going to be very, very useful for making sure it doesn't take too many substantial losses from those Swarmos waves. But I really just like this is what these late game situations always end up coming down to. It's just how can you get those small little edges and be slightly more cost effective in the long run.
What the heck is that Zealot doing there? Okay, Zealot, just stay there. No one's gonna notice you. I wonder if herO's gonna, like, I feel at this point herO might want to actually give away these Stalkers on the right side. He seemed that he wanted to keep them alive because he bothered blinking them back, but look at the defense of the natural. Like, what are you gonna, no, you can't get up that. You just run into Hydras anyways. So at that point, probably better to just replace it with just a few more Tempests, Void Rays, an Oracle. For those of you who are not well versed, it actually used to be that we saw this type of game like every single time I cast, I swear, because Protoss vs Zerg was very, you know, prevalent back in the day, a couple months ago. But if you guys are kind of new or you've forgotten, Oracle is so important to have with this composition. You need to outsee the Tempest's actual vision range.
Yeah, gonna be very, very annoying to do that, but we do see more observers actually being made from herO just to do pretty much that.
What the heck
And,
is this army? Holy. The Zerg army just looks terrifying. I know it's because there's like 12 corrupt or overseers in there, but
oh my god,
it's
that's like Doomsday, like the third Matrix movie. That's what I always think of when I see corruptors. I think of those little creatures from the Matrix.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I never considered that. I haven't watched The Matrix in years,
That
so...
that was all I could think about.
No,
Oh.
I watched that movie like 12 years ago, man. And never again after that.
Wait. Is this Dark Temp? Oh my god. That Dark Templar, like, there was nothing on the ground except for the locust. So it was just wailing away. It was being detected by like 7 spore crawlers, but nothing could kill it till the locust popped. That's actually kind of surprising.
Funnily enough, they're not on max out upgrades quite yet. You know, we got a couple of them just needing to max out on a shield upgrade or a carapace upgrade here and there. And then they'll be perfect. They will have run out of things to upgrade.
Yeah.
And that'll be just quite dandy.
These stalkers, the stalkers that you were doubting, Zombie Grub.
They have killed
around,
overlords, overseers, locust, creep. They are bosses.
Look at these guys. Oh my god, they have so many kills. There's one of them with 10 kills. Oh no, he's close right down with the locusts. Okay, gonna survive. 11 kill stalker.
There really is not much else going on in this game. He has 4 hydras that actually like that they're in the main base protecting it, but there's no other option for him to attack anywhere else. Technically there is for herO, but against the static defense... Oh, okay. You try.
Yeah, he's starting to make some good progress over here, though, with the Tempest, and the High Templar is also zoning out a lot of those Corruptors.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. At the same time, though, I keep going back to the Units Lost tab, and I can see here being just slightly less effective, but I'm almost wondering, like, if he can continue to deny that right-hand expansion, could this actually work out well for herO? He's, like, making progress. He denies that right-hand expansion, even in a late-game situation, this may end up working out, but oh! Hold on to Mothership.
Ooh, that's actually... that is pretty important, but he took a lot of shots on his own units for it. There's no ground army to hide from the locusts anymore either, just a couple Archons and probes. And I guess the High Templars are actually very important to keep secret, hidden.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like the main thing that you really want that Mothership for, right? Because the High Templars are so slow, they're just gonna get absolutely obliterated. There's a single probe attacking a spore crawler, and all of the swarm hosts went in and repositioned themselves to deal with that probe.
Panic!
They're actually assaulting the expansion, but I like to think that it was for that probe.
The probe would be the doom of us all. Well, I think these stalkers are finally gonna die after taking down so much, and 2 vipers? No. Okay. No, don't you dare get that viper. You're not allowed to. No! Oh!
Dying shot. Oh.
herO stalkers right there. Holy cow.
That is in fact technically correct as well, Zombie Grub.
I know. I went for it. And it worked.
I always appreciate a good fun.
Yeah. The mothership actually entirely on the wrong side of the map. Not sure what it's chilling over here for.
Yeah. Well, okay. The spine crawler count has been reduced down to 34, so eventually herO gonna make some progress on this. He's sacrificing so many zealots over here, though, in this harassment. I almost kind of feel like it's balancing itself out. He's like killing a lot of static defense, but at the same time he's losing a lot of warped-in zealots and not accomplishing as much.
Yeah. I just do not know where this is going to go. What's also not helpful is you have not seen anyone actually attack each other, you know? There's been, of course, Tempest attacking Overseers, but in terms of, like, control, not so much. Like, who's going to get the better storms and feedbacks? Who's going to get the better pulls from the Vipers? Not really seen so far. It's just been very stalematey.
Yeah, I think these locust swarms from Hyun right now, this is the first time almost in the entire game that he's actually been on the offensive. I think we were talking about that earlier. You mentioned, you know, these swarms have not killed a single building. Yeah. This is kind of like that first time that they've actually been able to center themselves in that glorious position that every Zerg player knows in King Sejong Station, where they say, well, I'm going to get static defense right here, and I'm going to deny that expansion that herO's trying to take over here in the center. And that's a pretty juicy expansion for herO.
9 more gateways on the way for herO. I wonder if he's thinking maybe a max ground remax will actually be, you know, because eventually these armies are going to come to a head, and it's, you know, what do you remax on after that? And what's funny is that they both upgraded single thing, gotten all the tech, but they can both upgrade whenever they want. Mass Zealots versus Mass Lings? Sure.
I'm almost thinking about. I used to have this friend who played Terran, right? And he was
And then
obsessed
you
with
just
this
owned him.
idea of, as a Protoss player, you can warp in with like warp prisms on top of like an opponent's production facilities.
Yeah.
So I'm almost wondering, like, with how many gateways he's getting, that's a really nice investment for if you want to go for like mass warping on inside of your opponent's main base with warp prisms, and you just start murdering tech and say, well, look, you may have as much money as you want, but if you don't have the tech to reproduce the units that you actually want to make right now to deal with all these like zealots that are killing everything in your main and your natural,
Yeah.
it's gonna kind of suck, right? So I think that might be one kind of way that he could use those warp gates.
It's always worse for Terran, though. Not to kind of sidetrack
Yeah.
from a PvZ that we're having, but as long as they have one tech building up, it might not be the best unit to make, but it's at least something. You know, Roachborn died, okay, I'm making nothing
Yeah.
but Hydras, but at least it's like 200 Hydras. So, I don't know. It is a cool idea, though. The main is actually not that well defended. If you put 2 War Prisms in there and mass warp in, you can definitely get something done, but I want to say something's going to happen here, but obviously both players just like they're going to try and poke at each other until they're both forced to attack each other.
Yeah. And it's one of those really tense things, right? Because at any moment we could just see one of them decide to commit. Oh god, the mothership recall at the very last second. I almost don't like that. Just almost. Because having a weakened mothership kind of sucks, right? It's never gonna have that energy back or that
Yeah,
health back
but it is an
until it
expensive
dies.
remake, so
Yeah, that's true. It's a trade-off.
definitely. I just. What else is there to say, guys? I guess one thing is I'm surprised they don't have a bigger bank. You know, no one reached the 10,000 mark. That should have happened ages ago.
Yeah. Well, okay, Hyun is just not mining from that right-hand side to the point where
Right?
hero's just like, I need to keep an eye on this, planting a proxy pylon over
Take
there,
it.
just in case.
No, take the base.
There's the mothership.
Please.
There's the mothership. Being
That would
killed.
make my day. Usually Zerg get to do this, but if Pro does it, that'd be amazing.
I think hero just lost all of his High Templar. That could actually be a bit of a problem because again, mothership just got pulled in, got killed, and the mothership is the cloaking is one of the main reasons why those High Templars are able to stay alive. But with no High Templars, he does have to be a little bit wary about this corruptor just kind of pouncing in on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope Hero realizes this, or he's okay with it, because he's just making 7 Void Rays right now at a time. Just want to note, 7 Stargates.
Oh my god.
Kind of ridiculous.
When did that come? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're all maxed out, by the way. I know I mentioned that earlier. Maxed out on everything they possibly can be, so no worries about
Except for-
upgrades.
No. Hyun missing 1 melee upgrade,
Oh.
but still finishing up.
Well, you know, the Broodlord's now going to be useless.
Oh,
Oh, and a
of course.
Baneling Nest. I mean, you need that.
Did he never get a... I guess he never got a Baneling Nest. That's good to know.
Well, when will you usually get a Baneling Nest in PvZ? At the 39-minute mark,
Baneling-
Fear Dragon?
Baneling drops
As usual?
if your name is Evil Genius with Suppy and you're going for slow Baneling drops versus Gosu Pizza.
That was cool.
Of course. That was glorious.
These Zealots are gonna try so hard, but what are they gonna do, man? They're just like, oh, okie dokie. We took down 2 spine crawlers? Maybe 4, actually, as they last longer than I thought they would.
Yo, Zealots get upgrades, Spine Crawlers do not.
That's
They're
true.
actually gonna win that.
Where's the building armor for Zerg? I ask you this.
David Kim, please. Oh my
Everyone.
God, another swarm of Zealots. This is gonna be a little bit problematic, because you have to remember, all those Swarmos have to be on this left-hand side of the map. Otherwise, this army from
Yo.
Heroes starts picking off all those static defense buildings.
You know, he just killed like 7 Tempest right there. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of grabs right there. What's funny is that he does have to reposition very slow army to catch these zealots. So like the swarm hosts, they're trying so hard, but his mobile force is corruptors, which is just like I can't help you guys. Legacy of the Void, I promise.
This is not going to sound super impressive, but given the context of how many spine crawlers there were, Hyun has dropped down to 20 spine crawlers and 17 spores. He was up at around 35 to 40 spine crawlers and like 35 to 40 spore crawlers not
Okay.
that long ago. And he
Let me
still
tell
hasn't
you.
taken that right hand expansion, so.
First of all, there's a ton of High Templar. That's great to see. Second of all, I was forced to solo cast a game on Frost with Snoot where there is like 90 plus spore crawlers. Nothing impresses me anymore when it comes to that stuff. Oh, he has 50 spine crawlers? How impressive. Please.
You know what I really just like to imagine? I like to imagine one of those situations where, you know, you have like that friend and that is like a little bit more of a newbie, doesn't necessarily keep up with all the pro
all my friends.
Stats, and they'll be like, yeah, they'll play like against the AI and be like, I found this really good strategy, okay? You get only Siege Shanks and Vikings and you sit on 2 bases, or even 1 base, and you wait until the AIs mine out the entire map because they're just gonna A-move their army in. And then you go kill them with battle cruisers. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, that's so stupid. And then swarm hosts are like the equivalent of that. That whole like, oh, I'm just gonna sit around and kill the AIs by forcing them to like continuously attack into me while I have static defense. And oh, Banelings!
But the Archons were bros. They protected the High Templars.
Wow. That was
Brofist.
But yeah,
get the swarm host. Get the swarm host. The swarm observer. The swarm observer. You bring enemy.
Oh, Storm! Storm though, he's getting a lot.
Oh, thank goodness. That was justified right there. I don't know about winning the game, but at least kill those swarm hosts you're right on top of.
Yeah. 14 swarm hosts still left over, but I mean, he's gonna kill off this expansion. He's starting to move in. The natural expansion was also taken. I guess that's not really mining, so not the biggest deal in the world, but hero's starting to make some good progress.
Oh, so Hyun is down in supply, and hero sells the bigger bank.
Oh, get those high boys out of there!
And, you know, one of the biggest things is that his Spore Crawler defense is down and gone, and he never took the right base! And he's on 30 drones, so while that's great for maxing out on a very good army, that's not so great for re-maxing out. And he never had a big bank, it never got to, like, 10,000, and that's when I feel like you're comfortable to Swarm Host play. Only in the 5 digits.
So, okay, to defend Hyun's decision to not take the right-hand base, I think it definitely comes down to the fact that, look, he's still mining off of that left-hand base, or, you know, obviously mining a lot less now, but he was still mining off of it, so it's really hard to defend the left and the right, especially with how much counterattacking hero's been doing this game. So I can kind of understand it. You basically say, like, look, we're not going anywhere for a while. I might as well take it when I'm absolutely certain and safe that I'm not going to be losing it. Yeah, but I agree with you. I'm afraid that it's going to come to the point where he's used up his entire bank, and then he doesn't actually have a maxed out army to defend that right-hand expansion.
Yeah, that's what's always so scary, because you may, like, that is an excellent point. That's usually why they don't take it. It's just, it seems to be the point where they think that they need it. It's too late, right? So yeah. We'll see if that breaks Hyun here. I was going around checking the bases. You know, we haven't done that in a while. It's 46 minutes. Things are getting a little tight. I noticed this, like, on the upper right. This is a great defense. I totally, like, doesn't even import anymore. Oh. There's, like, nothing useful, but it's so cool to see. But otherwise, yeah, pretty scarce here. The third's entirely mined out. Fourth's about to get there. The middle base is actually the healthiest one because it died.
Yeah, really interesting. Hyun actually making a couple more Zerglings and Banelings coming out, which is really weird to me because he actually has a nice gas bank, but is really lacking minerals right now, and quite frankly is not mining a lot of minerals right now.
Yeah.
I want to say he's probably he's got more gas than he has minerals, like mineable also, but oh, if he starts losing these swarm hosts, it's gonna be really problematic. But I don't know how much I like these Banelings. It's an interesting choice, for sure.
Rifkin? Or, you're not Rifkin. Fear Dragon? Is this the first game? This is the first game, isn't it?
This is game 1.
I thought it was. Okie dokie then.
Just clarifying that. Okay, look, the other games are not going to be played on King Sejong Station, at least.
That's true.
Those Banelings were not effective.
Helpful? No, they were. I feel like they're only ever going to be useful if they kill the High Templars. That was like the only thing.
He's going for, but hero's been doing a really good job of just like body blocking with the Archons, and oh my god, those Corruptor shots! Those Corruptor shots are actually going to the mothership.
Whoa! Okay. I caught like the tail end of that. Cool.
They didn't do any damage to it. But they
That
like
was
went
cool.
straight over to it. Animation glitch.
Oh boy, guys, I don't know what to say. herO finally got above 10,000 minerals, so that happened. I feel like that's a momentous occasion. Hyun is down to 0 mining, 0 mineral intake.
25 minerals. 25 minerals. That's all he has. He's only mining with 10 drones.
Oh, that main base is all he had, and it's almost entirely mined out.
1,500 gas zombie grub. This is the opposite was supposed to happen. You're supposed to have a ridiculous mineral bank at this point and to be making queens and all these other kind of things, but not have any gas to make all those like infestors and swarmos or anything. This is the opposite of what happens.
Look at all these Archons. My god.
Let's check the. I want to start checking the kill counts on these Archons. I had 20 kill Archon.
Some of them are 0, some of them
I
are
think a lot
pretty
of these
fresh.
I think a lot of the Archons have been eating one for the team against those Baneleys.
Yeah, that's true. Oh god, Hyun's army is so scary. You know, it gets a really great concave, it kills the army, but there's no way he remaxes.
Zombie grub.
Yeah?
Zombie grub. Wait
Yeah.
a second.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Protoss in me. Only a Protoss will think like this, okay?
Gotcha.
There are 7 overseers out of the map, but there's not enough minerals to make more overseers.
Oh.
What if?
Oh.
What if?
You.
Only a Protoss thinks like this.
Yeah, it's actually not a case where he has to, though. Like, usually if it's,
Yeah.
I'm working on minerals, too, but he is at a point where he's like, I could probably push this army and take a really great fight and just remax, but why bother?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait you out.
Well, we're gonna see Hyun go to the
Rip.
final engagement over here. Corruptors getting stormed, Archons murdering, and GG gets called. herO gonna be taking game number 1.